welcome back to the channel. Today we are putting a load of things back on the bike, got a few deliveries in so we can finalise everything, and we're getting the bike completed, loaded up and take it back to the owner. Let's get on with it. First up, I tidy up some wiring. Next, I'm connecting up the tubing to the overflow of the radiator and the water bottle. Now onto spark plugs. Here I'm installing the spark plugs. Here I'm using some welding filler rod to route the HT leads from the coil. Next, the spark plug ends get installed. And this all gets repeated on the other side. Next, I'm looming up the fan and thermostat wires, and then looming together the wires under the left-hand shelter cover. Moving towards the back of the bike, I loom together the wires for the alternator and the rear tail lights. Now onto the emblems. After priming them, they all get a spray with some gold paint. And here I'm using some copperies to mask the letters before painting with some black paint to fill in the gaps between the letters. After a few coats of paint and the paint's allowed to dry, the copperies can be wiped off to reveal the gold paint underneath. Now the emblems can be installed, starting with the top shelter cover, then onto the front and the two side shelter covers. The rear pegs and exhaust gets removed to allow the rear brake calipers to be removed to be rebuilt. After a good clean, a new seal can be installed with some silicone grease and the calipers reassembled. The calipers are then reinstalled with a new set of brake pads. Here I'm installing a braided brake line to replace the hard line and then onto bleeding the brakes. The same treatment is given to the front calipers. Removed, new seals installed, reinstalled and then bled. At some point in time, the heat shield to this bike has been badly damaged and it's got a bit of road rash. So here I'm knocking the dents back out. Then I polish it with a variety of tools, starting with a wire wheel on a drill, sandpaper and finally revert into an angle grinder with a flap disc. Here I'm using 60 and 100 grit sandpaper to hand sand the worst of the scratches from the angle grinder. Now I'm using a rotary sanding attachment in the angle grinder to sand up to 240 grits. Finally, I'm hand sanding to take out any swirl marks, going through the grits from 400, 600 and 800 grits to leave it to a polished finish. Heat shields then get 3 coats of high temperature clear coat to prevent them from rusting again. One of the brackets for the heat shield was missing, so here I'm making one from a bit of stainless steel. And now the heat shields can be installed. The first method I try is by installing the heat shields to the headers before installing the headers on the bike. This second method, I put the headers on the bike and installed the heat shields while the headers are in place. Next I install the rear mufflers and the rear pegs. Time for some oil and lubricants. First the gearbox and engine gets some oil, and then the final drive. I've actually lost the footage, or I think I forgot to press record. And the radiator gets topped up with some coolant. Here I'm cleaning the grease nipples so I can add some grease to the drive shaft into the final drive. And finally the battery gets installed. And that's the bike completed, ready to take off the ramp, quick clean and deliver back to the customer. Thanks for watching. That's the GL1000 finished and delivered back to the owner. Unfortunately I lost the footage of me getting it on the trailer, and after I cleaned it, so I'll insert some photographs here. Next episode we'll be onto a new project, building a transportation trailer for a car hauler. So subscribe if you're not subscribed if you want to see that one. If you like the content so far, hit the like button. If you don't, you know what to do. And Happy New Year and take care of yourself.